Hello, everybody. Hello and good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. My name is Leibella Ralston. I'm also known as Mommy Lay on the internet. On behalf of Michael Stores and Faber-Castell USA, would like to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for spending some time with us to learn and to play. And today's class, we're going to be doing some sunset painting with some gelatos. And I'm always excited when it comes to the gelatos because it is one of my most favorite medium to use. So, hello everyone. Hey Judith, I'm so excited also. Finally, some gelato class, right? Hello Mary. Hello everybody. Thank you for sharing where everyone is joining us from. I am broadcasting live from Texas. So hello there. I have some neighbors in here. So hello and thank you for joining in. All right. So today, like what I said, we're going to be working with gelatos. And the gelatos are I want to know if you're familiar with gelatos, if maybe this is your first time attending my class here with Michaels and Faber-Castell. I'd like to kind of go through the materials first, and then we'll talk a little bit about gelatos before we get started painting. Um, the artwork that we're going to do today is pretty simple and it might look a little overwhelming, but trust me, with a little bit of smudges, we're going to create a happy mess today. We'll do a lot of smudging and blending. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, all right, let me turn it to my overhead. Okay, gelatos. Hello. Gelatos are pigment sticks. Here we have it. It looks like a lipstick. It's the same as a lipstick, like that, this, and it comes in many different colors. It comes in many different sets. There's brights, there's pastel set, there's two iridescent, there's a metallic brights. I said brights already, right? So it comes in different finish. There's an iridescent that has a shimmer to it. The iridescent is more like something that you can use to overlay on top of your first layer. I love it. Now, metallic, of course, it has this beautiful sheen and shimmer to it. I just love using different finish for different projects. So today, the colors that I'll be working with are from different types of sets. Now, you don't have to have the exact color. That I'm working with, but it might look different. But as long as you kind of like practice the steps, then you can recreate it again using the colors of your liking, of your choice. So all right, let's go look at this. I have lavender color. This is very, it's like a so pretty. It's a lavender shade. This one, I think it's from the pastel set. The next one is buttercream, so very light yellow. Judith, we might, yes, we're gonna need some baby wipes also. So, all right, and then we have this is from pastel set as well. It's the guava color, so pretty. It's like a light coral. This one is blood orange, like that. And then I have a raspberry color. And then I might also use the grape, which is a deep, so violet or purple, like that. Oops. And then I have whites. We have coconut, and then we have metallic icing. So you can either use any of these. If you have the coconut, then that's good. If you have metallic icing, then it has a shimmer and it's still white. It just creates a different layer. Now, since we're working with the gelatos and we're going to need some moisture, we need some water. So if you can get a cup of water like this, I have this. And then I also have a watercolor paper in here or mixed media paper, whatever you have. I don't think I'm going to prep my canvas or my paper here. I don't need to because we're going to do a lot of blending in here. But if you feel like you want to use a gesso to prep it, sometimes it's easier to blend the gelatos that way. But personally, I've never had troubles with blending the gelatos even without using some gesso first. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the gelatos first. I'm going to grab just another piece of paper in here. So for everyone who's joining in that are not familiar with the gelatos, these are so versatile. You can use it so many different ways. It almost feels like a crayon, but it's really not because it doesn't have that fine tip. It's not necessarily like pastels. It's creamier. So it's somewhere in between of those. So that's why it's such a versatile medium. I love using it directly onto the page. You can apply it directly on your paper, just like that. You can get a watercolor, a water brush, which I believe I do have. And then you can use it kind of like a watercolor, right? So you can pick up the colors directly from the tube and then just color with it, just like that. And then, of course, you get different intensity. If you apply it directly like this, then of course you're going to get that intense color. And once you apply that, you can use your water brush and blend it out like a watercolor, just like this. Now, the thing with that is that sometimes you're going to get left with some streaks on the paper. And that is why some people prefer to gesso their page first. But with the type of drawing, painting that we're going to create today, I'm not worried about the texture that it will leave um, onto the paper. So I'm really not worried about that. So also another way that you can blend them out is you can apply them directly. And this is the technique that we're going to use today is we're going to apply the gelatos directly onto the page and we're going to blend it by dipping our fingers just a little bit onto the my water here and I'm just going to blend it that way. I feel like this way instead of using a baby wipes, I feel like I have more intense colors because remember when we're using a baby wipe, we're picking up some of those pigments, right? So we're transferring that into the baby wipe. So we pick up the pigments. So that means you have less intensity. But baby wipes is also another way that I like to use my gelatos. So I like to just show you guys how you can blend it different ways. So you can use some baby wipes, just a regular baby wipes, and I'll wrap it around my pointer finger like this. Yes, Judith, mixed media paper is okay. And just like this. So what I meant when I said you're going to pick up some of those pigments is that it's going to transfer in the baby wipes like that, right? So basically less intensity, but I don't know, just looking at that, I think I spread it too much. So you still get a little bit of mark. Again, I'm really okay with that. All right. How do you add water to the Faber-Castell water brush? I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot enough time to do that today, but we have two different types of water brush for Faber-Castell. We have one that you can just open and screw like this, unscrew, screw it back in, and then put some water in there. Go to your sink, add some water. And then we have another one that I don't have in front of me. It's like it's working on a pistol system. So you kind of like it's a vacuum. You're pulling some water. So if you have a bowl like this, and then our water brush, it's just kind of like pulling that water to put it in the barrel. So there's two different ones, but I'm sorry that I don't have it in front of me. All right. I know, right? Isn't that so pretty already? And we're just making some strokes and all that. But basically, that is what we're going to do. All right. So my paper size here is a 9 by 9. No reason. I just kind of cut the 9 by 12. I said, okay, I want a square. You don't have to cut yours, whatever canvas you have. Now, the next step is if you have a painter's tape like this or a baby wipes, if you don't have a painter's tape, it's okay too. Let's see. But if you don't have it, again, it's okay. You can just paint it, all your whole page. But the thing is that I like a clean edge. So I like to use this painter's tape. And it also helps the paper to hold the paper in place. And then I don't have to worry about it. It's just hard when I cannot see. They're going to see my head. So hold on. Sorry, apologize. You're going to see my head. I just want to have a clean, make sure I'm applying it. All right. So this will hold it in place. So if you don't have a painter's tape, then use a washi tape because it has it's not going to hurt your paper, but sometimes it does. It just depends on the brand of the washi tape or even painter's tape sometimes. The key to that is to apply a little bit of heat from if you have a heat tool, a heat gun, or blow or hair dryer before you peel your tape. That's what's going to help. I'm just going to make sure that I really apply it well. I mean, press it on really well in the paper because I want to have a clean edge. Just like that. Masking tape will work, yeah, for sure. But again, if you feel like you peel it later and then it's peeling the paper, then make sure you apply a little bit of heat, and that will help a lot. Just a regular blow dryer if you don't have a heat gun or a heat tool. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. The last time I painted this 2.5 months ago. I always tell you this because it's kind of like doing this for the first time again. And I was just telling Carrie earlier, I'm like, I wish I can remember how I actually painted this. But we're just gonna play. Okay. All right. Is my camera? My camera's kind of like crooked, or it's my taping job that is crooked. So I apologize. I think it's okay. Oh, there you go, Sue. That is very, very smart. Very smart. Hey, Carla, Michaels have many different brands of painter's tape. So Sue said if you're using a masking tape, kind of like put it on your pants first to take out that tackiness. And then so it won't be so tacky and won't hurt your canvas or your paper. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. I'm looking at the painting on my side so I can remember how I did it. Now, this first layer, it almost feel like you have to trust the process. I guess that's what I'm saying. We have to trust the process. So we start with our light yellow, right? So I'm going to open every color in here. I have my lavender on the side. I'll have my guava. So basically, I'm just going to open them all up. So now if you're going to use this without a painter's tape like this, you might want to use a newspaper just so you won't hurt your table. I'm using I have a white desk, so it gets really dirty so easily, so quickly, but it's an artist table. What to do? Okay. What to do? So we start with the yellow first, and this is where you have to trust the process. And I think I'm going to use a baby wipes for this stage because I really want the underpainting to be very smooth. It's just the gradient, the blending will be smooth, and then we can start adding more layer on top of that. I have to add that with the gelatos, once they're dry, you cannot re-wet them. So they are waterproof. Water, I think waterproof, is that the word? Once they're dry, you cannot re-wet it and you cannot blend it. So while it's still wet, that is when we should work on our blending, because once they're dry, that's it. No moving it. Okay. Here we go. Yellow. So think of it as we're cutting our canvas here in three. So we have the water, we have the mountain, almost four actually. So let's divide it by four, right? So visually, if you want, you can use a pencil, but I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but just visually think of it as we're dividing it into four. We have a water, we have the mountains, we have the sunset, and then you have the sky. All right. So that's our goal. So our sun is over right in the middle. So we're going to have that because the sun will reflect. This is how nature works, so it's not like the lights are bouncing, so the colors bounce. So the yellow, and we're going to go through that as while we're doing this. So it's better to show you than keep explaining with some technical words. I feel like just playing and showing you a demo and showing you the steps is going to be a much better way of teaching than to just say big words and then people are just but they just say I'm confused. All right, let's start with the yellow. I am procrastinating. And I'm just going to apply the yellow. And look at this. I'm just literally going in circular motion. So on my second half, right? So 1, 2, 3. So between the second and the third, I'm going to apply my yellow in here. I'm just making scribbles. Look, guys, just scribbles, right? So now I am going to use my coral color. So this is the Guava. I'm just going to apply it here, just there, just there. So when you're applying, just don't apply so much. Trying to not make it so bright so you can see. There we go. Try not to apply too much pressure. Just go light on your pressure. So there, do you have the scribbles of the yellow and the coral color? Now we're going to pull the blood orange color. So it's like a deeper orange, right? Now we're going to go here, just like that. Just like that. You can add a little bit here because again, the light, the colors bounce just like that. And then I'm going to start adding in my lavender color. This. To the bottom part, just like that. I think I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. Just like this. And then I'll take my grape color, the deeper violet color. Actually, this is raspberry. I apologize. So a raspberry, I have 3 values of purple or violet in here, just like that. So it just looks like a scribble. And then we're like, what are we going to do now? Okay, so we're going to take our baby wipes. If you have your baby wipes in here, the key to this, to not look like a blood mess, is that we got to go blend one color at a time. Okay, so we start with the very first one that we applied is the yellow. Now, also, you want to make sure that you wrap it around your pointer or middle finger or both if you want. But I feel like to have just a smaller space and a better control, just wrap it on your pointer finger. Make sure that the surface is clean, and then we're going to move that around. And then we proceed to the next color. We grab a clean spot. Okay, so I'm going to grab a clean spot for my yellow in here. If you don't have a baby wipes, then just do what I did earlier. Dip your finger in the water and then start blending. Now I'm going to blend in a circular motion also. So I'll start with the yellow. And this one, very little pressure, because we want to make sure that we don't pick up too much pigments, right? So we just want to blend it. We don't want to pick up too much of the colors. Just like that. And then now I'm going to proceed with my coral color. And I think I like to blend the yellow in this coral color or the guava color. So I'm not going to change my spot. I'm just going to use, so that little bit of that, what is this, buttercream will blend it with the guava. Okay, so again, circular motion. So we're blending a little bit of that buttercream to that guava. And I'm going to go over here, skip this part right here. Just go where the guava color is. Just this one. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and then grab a cleaner. And then I'm going to start working on the blood orange. Is that blood orange? Blood orange. That's right. I'll start here on the top first. And again, this is our underpainting. We're just distributing the colors on our page. And also, this is the very first part of the painting that's always the scariest, the white canvas, the white blank page. So now we want to blend really well, but I'm going to get a little bit of this here, just like that. And I'll bring it up. Look, notice how the way I'm just like that. And I'm going down here because I have a little bit of that blood orange. And I'm going to go blend this time. So I didn't change the position of my baby wipes. I'm almost like bringing down these colors, just like this to the side. Now I'm making some strokes now, intentional strokes like this. So we want to bring all these colors, blend all of them together. It's almost like I'm giving this stroke already to know where my mountain part is going to be, right? And then here I can see where I lay down those blood orange. And I don't necessarily want those strokes. I'm just going to blend it just like that. And then now if you feel like you've added too much of that darker orange that you're using, we can remedy that. We're just going to apply more of that guava. And I'm going to use the same spot so that we can blend a little bit of that color left in our baby wipes. In circular motion, we're just going to blend it again. This is the only time that we're going to do circular motion because later we're going to be more intentional with our stroke and we're going to create horizontal lines. Look, I'm just laying down that part right there to know where I want to make it half, right? Judith, I think what's going to help is water. So just add a little bit more moisture. So if you feel like maybe the baby wipes is not doing it, maybe use the water directly, dip your finger in the water and then just kind of like really smudge. Or instead of being light on your pressure, try a little bit more pressure to kind of just really blend it. Okay, so this time I'm going to the bottom half. I'm going to go in and blend the pink. How we're going to cover all these strokes is by just applying layers. So we're going to work in layers. So I'm going into the raspberry part also, and I'm just going in circular motion. I think the strokes is what you guys are seeing. It's going to be very normal to have that stroke because we didn't prep our canvas. And to me, underpainting of like this texture, something that I really enjoy myself, I really don't mind. It's almost like building up the texture. Just like that. Oh, yes, Sue. Sue is right. I was having the same problem about the water brush. I'm like, I keep twisting it and twisting it. And I was doing it the wrong way. So screw it to the other direction, clockwise. There we go. Okay, so now it looks just like a blob of mess. It doesn't look like a whole lot of my painting. So what are we going to do now? Now this time we're going to do a whole lot more layers in here. So I'm going to start with the pink color, the lavender color. Why do I keep calling this pink? I don't know why. Just going to go back in, add more layer. So we can add more intensity in here. And I'm going in with my grapes. Oh, the raspberry color. Okay, Lay. My brain is not working. This time, I'm going to use my finger to blend. Right? I'm just going to go grab my water in here. Like that. And I'm going to blend. This is the happy part. There. So when you get to the middle part, you want to create this horizontal stroke. So you go just like that. And then on the sides, we still want to do the circular motion. If you add too much water, you're going to end up with just a pool of water there. And don't worry, just kind of spread it as well as you can. Just like this. And if you feel like you're getting those fingerprints, now is the time to really add these vertical strokes like this. Okay, while they're still wet. Just go like that. Going here on the side, I'm just going to go vertical. Sorry, horizontal. Just like this. So now we're going side by side by side by side. And we're going to repeat this, but we're going to add more colors here. Right? So we started with our circular motion. Now we're doing a horizontal. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going in with the guava color. I feel like I have enough of the guava, but let's see. Then I'll add more blood orange over here as well to the sides. So we want to create some depth in the corners, just like that. Just like this, like that. And then so I'm going to clean my finger because it has some of those raspberry colors. So we want to make sure that we clean it up, okay? And I'll just dip and I'll just start blending. So I start with circular first, just like that. Just to kind of really get the water in there. Spread the gelatos. And now while my paper is wet, you're going to feel it. You see, have enough water in there. Just like this. But the middle part, we want the yellow in there, okay? So we don't want to cover that yellow too much. And I'm kind of like, because I have too much water, so I'm just cleaning up my finger in there with the baby wipes. At the same time, I'm grabbing more moisture from the baby wipes, but not too much water. Just like that. So now I'm doing short circular motion, very short. It's almost like circular horizontal strokes, just kind of like that. Because remember, we're creating a sun in the middle. So right here, we want to make it as smooth as possible. Just blending everything in the corners, just like that. And then here in the middle part is where I want that horizontal strokes. That is looking so pretty already. And sometimes seeing all that overlap of color, sometimes it really does. I cannot visualize it enough, but know that it's gonna be clean edge. So I'm okay with it as long as I just focus here. Sometimes my ADHD brain is like thinking of all that mess on the side, and I'm like, no, lay, let's leave it that. Don't worry about that. Now, if it's dry, you don't have enough, not too much water anymore, the water is dried up, even if it's a little bit moisture. I'm not thinking about the water, your paper is dry. It's still going to be wet. But as long as there's not pool of water, you've blended it and all that. Now it's time to bring back our sun. So we want to start adding our buttercream or yellow color, whichever color that you're using. So we're going to apply this again on top, just like that, just like that. And I'm going to tap in and grab a little bit of water, just like that. And we're going to go blend it in circular motion. The reason why I don't want you to press on it or add a lot of pressure while you're blending, because we don't want to pick up the colors again, right? What we've already applied in there. So we want it to stay there, but we want to blend it also. And also, when applying too much pressure, sometimes it hurts the paper. And so because this page is still slightly wet, I can come back in here and just blend. And if it's not blending enough, get some water. Oops, see what I'm talking about? That is what I was talking about. You're going to pick up a little bit of that pigment when you're applying too much pressure, and I am. So I'm just going to go back in and then add more colors. So just adding my yellow. And look, I'm not doing circular anymore. I'm doing my horizontal. So I'm just adding there. I'm just going to blend it just like this. Just like that. Like that. Yes, that's actually really fun because sometimes with watercolor you can't go light, right, on top of the dark. But with the gelatos, as long as you let it dry, you can actually layer your colors in here, and that's what's so fun about it. All right, so this time I can visually see where I want my mountain to be, right, over here. And in this part, I don't want you to overthink this one. If you don't have the grape color, if you have a black, that's going to work. I might actually end up using my black, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just use this grape. Mountains. I think we're thinking mountains. We've been drawing mountains since we were young. So it's just a distant mountain. So we don't want it big. So we want it to serve like a border in the middle, right? So I'm just going to go in and do this and not overthink it. And visually, I know where I'm going to put it because of that horizontal strokes that we have applied earlier. See that? Just right there is where I'm going to apply it. So I'm going to go in. And I think what's so lovely about using pastels, the gelatos, is that you don't have to be overly critical of your strokes. I feel like it's so freeing. You know, it doesn't, it's almost like you're not aiming for perfection here. It's just having fun. It's like pure fun. So I'm just going to add the bottom part just like that. All right. Now we're going to fill in with color. This part right here, if you have a round brush, a watercolor brush, it might be easier to use it so you can blend this much better. Or if you just want to use the baby wipes, that's good too. Sometimes it's just hard to really get on the corner. So I want to make sure that I have enough detail and I don't go above it. So I'm just going to clean it up again. I'm going to embrace the imperfect strokes that I'm going to create. We're just going to go one direction. So we're just doing a horizontal and we're just following the shape that we created here. Just like that. To go in, just gonna clean up just a little bit. And the more I clean up, the more I mess up. So I'm just gonna leave it right there. I was like, come on, Lay. All right, so for the bottom part, we almost want it to kind of like fade out. So we're gonna blur the bottom, just apply light pressure. So we don't want any sharp lines, right? So that's what I want to avoid is sharp lines here. So we're just gonna blend it. And then I almost want to stretch it down here. So we're almost creating a shadow, just like that. And here also. Just like that. So don't be afraid to create some mess. And I want to add a little bit more here. Put more color in there. I'm just going to blend a bit more. Just like that. And making sure that I have a cleaner. And then just blend. And then look at the way I blend it. I'm going horizontal strokes, and the baby wipes really does help with some texture of your stroke. Now, if you have a water brush, as long as you use your water brush and create like horizontal strokes like this, that should help as well. So it doesn't have to be a baby wipes. It can be a flat brush, a round brush, just like that. So you go side to side to side to side. Just like that. And I'm going to do the same over here in this corner. And I'm going to add like a deeper, just a little bit of the gray because I don't necessarily want it to be that dark. So just a touch, just like that. And then we're doing the same. We're doing horizontal strokes. Just like this. Hi, Lindy. Yeah, for this technique, I think the blending brush will work in the beginning stage, but in this part, the blending brush won't work as well. We are going to need our fingers in here or baby wipe like this or a flat brush. That would work. Yes, previous classes we've used a lot of blending brushes. It's just different techniques, different type of artwork. With this particular one, it's really going to be happy mess with our fingers here. A lot of smudging. All right, so this time I want to create a vision of that yellow of the sun, basically bouncing up until here. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. And like what I said, the colors, they really bounce everywhere. So that light, that sun will be everywhere. So even though we have like a direct, we have that direct sunlight or sunset here in the middle part, we want that color, the yellow, to bounce all over the page. So I'm just adding, so the buttercream in here, and I'm bringing down here as well, just like that. Yes, they're going to be permanent once they're dry. Just add this. I think with this particular drawing, maybe using a hot press will be much better because there's not a whole lot of texture. Cold press will be, I think it's still going to work, but it might take longer blending just because you have, bridges and caves. All that texture of the cold press might you know, might give you a little bit of hard time blending. Now I'm just blending that buttercream, that yellow here, just like that. Look at that. So I'm going to add a little bit more. So now we're just really doing the finishing touches. We've done the underpainting. And I want to have a little bit of that orange here as well. So I'm applying the blood orange here, just like that. And then again, horizontal, you're not going to see me do any more circular here. If I do circular motion in a very short, very small stroke, just to blend something, but everything's going to be in horizontal. So I'm just using my finger. Even your finger will create that beautiful stroke in there. And I want to add a little bit of this blood orange right here where this mountain ends, just a little bit. Again, we're just creating some bounds of light, of color, just like that. It's too dark now. There you go. I know it's so pretty already. And so now I want to create a depth over here on top. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. But notice that on top, we're not going to do a whole lot of horizontal blending. So on top, we're going to be doing circular. Over here at the bottom, I need to blend a little bit of that buttercream here. So on top, on the sky area, we're going to do circular motion. I'm just cleaning my finger here, and I'm going to go circular again. And then this time, the more you apply the gelatos, and you're going to notice that your initial strokes, your under painting strokes, you're not going to see a whole lot of that because we've layered, slowly layered in here. So we're covering that first part. That's why I wasn't worried about that first part earlier. I'm just going to blend it here again. Just like that. So pretty. I don't know why my sky is like super crazy like this, but it's so beautiful already. I feel like I want to blend this a little bit more. So I'm going to add my yellow. We want the yellow to be really in the center. So we have that direct reflection from the sun. But we want that light to bounce. So we're just adding a little bit of yellow, the buttercream here and there. Just going to add there. And then now I'm going to take my lavender. Just going to cover our underpainting. We're just going to layer more colors in here and blend it. Right? And then I'll clean my finger. And then this time I'm really applying pressure in here to blend this. And then when I go in the middle, I go like that. Over here, I do circular motion and then I go horizontal, right? To create that texture. Just like that. So here. So circular and then stroke. Circular, like that. Just like that. I think I'm going to add a little bit of that guava just here. Again, that bottom part of our mountain. You just blend it. just like that. Next month, we are going to create something very similar, but with some oil pastels. So that's going to be really fun. Different medium, but we're going to use almost the same techniques. And we're going to make some happy mess. With our fingers, we're going to be doing a whole lot of smudging. A whole lot of smudging and a whole lot of blending. Just like that. Now I want to add that depth over here. So I'm going to add a little bit of this. So notice how I'm applying the grape color. This is the deeper purple. I'm just applying a little bit here and there. Concentrate here, just like that. Now my baby wipes is already getting dry. Might have to use some little bit of water. But just be careful when you're going to use water because we don't want to lift the color. Remember, it happened earlier. So we don't really want to lift the layers, the colors that we've already applied. So just be careful with water. If you're going to dip in your water, make sure to kind of like tap it in your baby wipes so you don't have a whole lot of excess moisture. So you're just blending and not going to lift away any colors in there. This is like a bloody sunset here. I think I'm going to add a little bit of my blood orange. I feel like I want this to be blended a whole lot more, but I don't want to add too much color. Does that make sense? I just want to blend it. So this part right here is where patience will come in because you're going to look at your painting and say, okay, which part? Yeah, see, I've lifted some of that color right here because I had water. That's why. So it's okay. We can just cover it up by adding more layer, but just be careful because it can happen. Right in the middle. Basically, what I want is a better gradient from my yellow to the coral color. So I'm just adding some of that guava and I'm just blending away. So we want to create almost like there's some sky in there. The guava will do that by not adding any white, but just adding some lighter color. You see, you have just a little bit of that. Just like that. And I think I'm going to add a little bit more yellow in here, almost like having a direction. It's like adding to my right side. I'm just going to blend it this way. So you have a bit more reflection of that sun to that right. See where it's like fading? So we're just going to add a bit more. And again, using our finger to create those beautiful strokes. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love it. Now I'm just going to make the light bounce a little bit more. So I'm just going to add more buttercream here. To that side. So we really have that reflection of the sun. I'm going to add some to my left side also. Just like that. Now I feel like I don't have because I feel because I lifted some of the colors in here. So my gradient is not as smooth as I want it to be, but I'm afraid to add more and ruin it. But I'm just gonna try just a little bit. I feel like I messed that up by lifting some of those colors. Should be okay. We're good. I really love that dirty stroke here that was created by the baby wipes. You guys can see that very well. See how that kind of like, it's like texture over here. So made the baby wipes created that organic stroke. And I feel like I want to recreate that again over here. So maybe if I use my baby wipes is drying. So maybe it will create that because it now it's not entirely wet. And I'm just going to go light and just do this. And I'm going to add a little bit more yellow here. Just going to use my finger right there. Just like that. So I can just keep going and going and going and add a bit more and more and more. But last part, we're going to go in with our white color because we want to create like some beautiful sparkle, the water reflection in here. Now with this part, you can use a palette knife. This one, kind of like to do this. If you have like a credit card, that will actually work. Just like that. So you're creating like a beautiful water reflection. If you want to make like small strokes, just like that. So basically, I'm just picking up some of the gelatos, making sure I have it in my palette knife, just going light, almost like tap. So I can spread it out. And having the imperfect strokes is what makes it really organic, more natural looking, you know, not blended. Now we're creating like texture in here, just like that. So the ripples of water, so pretty. Just like that. Play around with your strokes. Some may be bigger than the others. Some are tighter and closer. Some are short. Some are long. So just really play around in this one. Don't overthink it and just lay down those white colors in there. And then use the palette knife or your credit card to spread it around like that. You can also apply the gelatos directly, but I think it's going to have a different look and result. So I'm just going to add short, small strokes here. The further we are, just like that, a little bit. Hi, Dee. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. You're so kind. Thank you guys so much for joining this class today. I hope that this was fun and relaxing. I hope this inspire you to create more with your gelatos. Sometimes, you know, when there's a new medium, it's like, it's really hard to use it. It's like, am I using it correctly? Am I, you know, is this the right way or not the right way? The only way you're gonna know is to actually use your mediums, use your art supplies, you know. So that's the fun part is like making mistakes. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I can use it like that, or you know. So it's like really play, And my classes, that's something that I always encourage you guys is to just play and not be afraid of making mistakes. All right, this is the peeling time. And so I'm going to peel my tape, have a beautifully clean edge. Just like that. Thank you guys so much. Absolutely. Yeah. And we're going to play more. We have some fun classes coming up this month of March. Again, like what I said, we're going to create another painting, but using some oil pastels. But look how beautiful and how simple and how easy that was. We're just doing scribbles. We started with scribbles like, and we use our baby wipes to blend. We're like, what? This is what we came up with. Yeah. So thank you so much. I'll see you again. We have another fun class next week. We have a lettering class. So make sure to sign up. Visit michaels.com, classes and events, online classes, and then you'll see those class there. But thanks so much for joining in. On behalf of Faber-Castell USA and Michael Stores, we appreciate you. Stay well, stay creative, and stay happy. Until next time. Bye. Bye bye.